1. The root of real attraction, mind before matter. A man becomes attractive not when he tries to please, but when he knows who he is. The moment you shift from wanting attention to commanding it, the game changes. Attraction begins in silence, in purpose, in energy. A woman can sense who you are before you speak. And what she senses first is how you carry yourself when no one is watching. Not every man is attractive, and not every man needs to be. But the man who becomes undeniable is the one who learns to master his own mind. Confidence is not the loud voice in the room. It is the calm voice inside your soul that says, I know where I'm going. I know who I am, and I don't chase what doesn't serve me. Napoleon Hill said, you become what you think about. So what do you think about? Do you think about who you could be if you had her love? Or do you think about who you could become with your own? There's a reason weak men try to impress. But powerful men stay still, because when your value is internal, you never need external validation. The mind is the battlefield, not your looks, not your money, not your status. And in this battlefield, your thoughts are soldiers. If they serve fear, you become a beggar. If they serve purpose, you become a king. Ask yourself, would you follow you? Would you respect the way you move, think, speak, wake up, plan, live? Because she will. She's not just attracted to your smile or voice or style. She's attracted to your aura. And your aura is built by unseen decisions. What you consume, how you train, when you sleep, who you cut off, what you tolerate. These are the bricks of your character. They create a presence before your lips ever open. Attraction is not created in the moment you meet her. It is prepared long before, in the moments you meet yourself. So who are you when the world turns off? Who are you when the lights go down? Are you building or are you scrolling? Are you hunting legacy or chasing validation? She will feel the answer, even if you never speak it. You want to attract her, then stop trying to attract and start becoming. Because the one who becomes never begs. Let your silence speak more than your words. Let your vision burn so bright it outshines your need. And let every room you walk into feel like a man just arrived who doesn't need anything, but can change everything. That is the foundation of real attraction. 2. Confidence. That commands. The Napoleon way, real confidence, is not noise. It's the absence of insecurity. A man who knows who he is walks differently. He doesn't move fast. He moves with purpose. He doesn't speak to fill silence. He speaks to shift the room. Confidence is not pretending to be perfect. It is the deep peace of knowing you are becoming unstoppable. Napoleon Hill said, faith is the head chemist of the mind. So what are you mixing in your mental lab? Fear, doubt, hesitation, or clarity belief and forward motion? A woman feels your self-perception before she feels your charm. If you see yourself as lacking, begging, hoping, you've already lost. But when your mind is calm, your path clear, and your intention pure, your energy becomes magnetic. Do you want to know why people listen when certain men speak? Because they say few words and mean all of them. Their words come from a furnace of discipline and direction. They don't just talk about dreams. They're walking in the middle of one. Confidence that commands isn't about dominance. It's about certainty. The certainty that no matter where you go, you will not break. You will not bow. You will not beg, because you've seen storms before and built muscle from pain. You want to be attractive? Build your mental endurance. Speak when it matters. Look people in the eye. Hold your ground. and walk like a man who has nothing to prove, but everything to offer. Most men overcompensate. Confident men understate. Most men ask for attention. Confident men receive it, because real confidence whispers. It doesn't shout. It stays calm under pressure. It doesn't gossip. It doesn't flex. It doesn't break. Women don't want perfection. They want presence. They want emotional control. A man who feels pain but never collapses in front of it. Confidence means you've mastered your emotion, your schedule, your reaction, your hunger. When you walk into the room, you say nothing, but people notice. And when you leave, they remember. Don't chase being liked. Chase being respected. Don't try to be attractive. Try to be rare, because the man who is rare becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. That is confidence that commands. 3. Desire, faith, and mental clarity. You cannot attract what you don't believe you deserve. And belief doesn't come from wishing. It comes from building. Napoleon Hill said, "Desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible." Every great man who ever walked this earth had one thing in common: a burning desire so clear, so strong, so deep, it couldn't be ignored. You can't attract a woman's attention if you haven't first mastered your own. Focus is rare. That's why it's attractive. And clarity is the greatest aphrodisiac. When you know who you are, where you're going, and what you're building, she notices. Not because you're trying to show her, but because the fire inside you lights up everything around you. Desire is not about need. It's about direction. It's about having a mission so loud that everything else becomes secondary. You want her to look at you like a king? Then stop living like a pawn. Get clear on what you want in life, in business, in health, in character. Because the man who walks with intention walks differently. He doesn't chase, he moves, he doesn't explain, he leads, he doesn't wish, he wills. Faith, according to Hill, is the visualization of and belief in the attainment of desire. So what image are you holding in your mind every day? Is it weak or is it worthy? Mental clarity means you don't waste energy second-guessing. You move with precision. You cut off what no longer serves you. You say no more often than you say yes, because clarity creates space for power to rise. And that power is what she feels. She doesn't fall for the words. She falls for the wavelength. Every day you walk, you are broadcasting your energy, your purpose, your clarity, or the lack of it. So feed your desire with discipline, sharpen your faith with action, and polish your mind with silence. Because the man who is clear cuts through the noise of the world and becomes unforgettable. That is desire, faith, and mental clarity. 4. Discipline, power, and emotional control. Power doesn't come from words. It comes from control. Control over yourself, over your emotions, over your reactions, over your habits. Napoleon Hill said, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts." You want to attract respect, loyalty, desire? Then become the man who is not moved by chaos. A man who is still while others are scattered. A man who is focused while others are distracted. That man becomes a force, and that force is rare. Discipline means you don't need motivation. You operate off mission. You do what you said, long after the mood has left. Most men fold under pressure. But the man who rises under pressure, he becomes unforgettable. Your emotional control is your power. The one who can stay calm when insulted wins. The one who can walk away from chaos leads. The one who can face fear attracts. Because women aren't just watching your words, They're watching how you act when things go wrong. When the world burns, does your fire dim or grow brighter? Power is not noise. Power is presence. You don't have to shout to be felt. You don't have to prove to be known. Discipline makes your aura undeniable. It's in your walk, your posture, your energy. People feel it when you say no to comfort and yes to growth. They feel it when you show up day after day after day. And the one who stays consistent becomes the one who stands out. Women want safety, not just physical, but emotional, spiritual, psychological. Be the man who doesn't crumble, who doesn't lash out, who doesn't complain. Be the man who breathes through pressure and builds through pain. Because that man, he doesn't chase power. He becomes it. That is discipline, power, and emotional control.